Hello, COMM 250. Today I'm going to give my presentation, and it's on a topic which I'm actually very excited about because this weekend I'm going to have an interview with someone in Salt Lake City about a prospective human resources job, and it's going to be excellent. So as you may have guessed, my topic today is on human resources and relations approaches. So allow me to show you my screen and I'll go through this PowerPoint with you today. Okay, so there you go, human resources and human relations approaches. This is a topic which I will try to thoroughly explain as I can with the time that I'm given. I believe in it wholeheartedly, and there's a lot of interesting information out there that I've learned. In particular, what I'd like to share with you today is all of the different perspectives which many experts have given us. According to Harvard Business Review, this is what they offer as far as the difference between human resources and human relations. They say human resources is when they want their superiors to recognize and make full use of their own currently wasted talents. Wow, that sounds pretty harsh, doesn't it? However, they give a more positive definition of human relations, aimed at improving morale and reducing resistance to formal authority. So you may recognize that this article was in favor more towards the human relations aspect of helping people. However, they offer hope as you read the article, saying that human resources can adjust their methods of management and make all the difference in their ability to increase morale with their employees. And for those of you who may not know what morale means, it's in layman's terms, it's ways to increase enthusiasm and have that kind of purpose amongst your employees to enjoy their jobs. So allow me to go through this a little bit more. What are the functions of human resources / human relations? As I go through this topic, I want to share with you all the different things that make the difference in the lives of the employees we work for. I'm not going to tell you all of the points just yet. However, what I will say is that what I have studied all of the class materials. I've read every single one of them, and as well as with this, I've studied from many credible sources, including Harvard resources. I've studied from Google Scholar. I've searched ProQuest. So I feel very well prepared to share this topic with you. So let's go over one of the most important things that employees look for in regards to communicating with human resources and human relations, and that's money. People care about their wages and benefits. This is where the human relations and human resources perspectives really make a difference in employees' lives. So here's 3 primary methods that employers will look at. First, they decide what they're going to pay depending on employee wage factors, which means that, for example, if I was to get into this new human resources position, it would be expected that I would be paid less than somebody who has stayed in the company for, say, 10 years or so. Second is to create the job description, which means that we create those positions and how much the employee will make depending on which year and what kind of experience they have, as well as which official position that they're in. That's how much we will pay them. Third, we pay according to employee evaluation. There are such things as pay cuts, salary cuts for employees who have been less ethical or who haven't been living up to company expectations. The other factor here is that we look at diversity as an important factor. You may remember in the Mentor that diversity is a wonderful thing that we should be looking for in management. However, with diversity, there will be diversity of thought, people who have varying different opinions on different subjects and will have very firm opinions based on their cultural background or perhaps their gender background or age or experience. However, under good management, we also learned under the Mentor that these differences can be resolved and that they can be compromised. There is no real loss in having diversity. Diversity is a wonderful thing. In fact, many studies have concluded that when you have a group of people who think way too similar, that it can oftentimes lead to pitfalls, and in most extreme scenarios, that people can lose their businesses along the way. There's also the aspect of hiring and firing employees. Let's start off with the positive. You're hired. Will morale will improve because of what we should be asking. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied. What we should be asking is, will morale improve because of the person that we're hiring? And the answer, of course, should be yes in this scenario. We should ask, can we trust this person that we're hiring? Can this person work on a team? Does this person have a strong desire to work here? And is the person confident in their abilities? These are just a few different things that we should be asking in regards to the people that we're hiring. The other section is you're fired, which sounds a lot like that Donald Trump phrase. And it's something that we want to avoid at all costs. The things that which we want to address from this is, are they not keeping pace with company expectations? Have they undergone unethical behaviors? Have they done things such as whistleblowing, negligence, failure to communicate with people such as management or their fellow employees in very extreme circumstances? All of these are things which we can consider when hiring or firing an individual. And just as a side note to add to this, especially under the firing category, is that with the human resources and human relations approaches to management, we've gone beyond this mechanistic way of looking at employees, where we see employees as parts of a machine. Rather, we're seeing them as people who we can build. We don't want to fire them. We want to take people, even if they seem to have very little potential, and work with them and utilize their talents and resources, maybe even ones which they didn't have when they first started their career. This leads me to my next topic, which is layoffs. One important note to keep in mind with layoffs is that this is a very delicate situation. These people, when they are no longer working for the company, it doesn't necessarily mean that they've been bad employees. There may just be need for changes in the company, or they can't afford to pay for as many employees as they have. One of the most important things to consider in this is that you don't want to choose impersonal methods to lay off a person, because this can lead to lawsuits and several other problems. For example, I remember reading in an article that managers will put a post-it note on an employee's computer and say, "Don't turn this on today." This is a very inappropriate way to lay a person off. Rather, we should bring them, what should happen is that the manager should bring them into their office and explain the situation. Last off on layoffs that I would like to mention here is that each person will react in a very different way to a layoff. Some may need time to think while they're sitting in the room. Others may vent or express extreme agitation at the situation. And it's up to the manager on how to handle these situations. But with all of them, they should be showing that they care about the employee and that they're willing to listen to their concerns. Another topic is recruiting. And this is the last of the several topics which we can go over. The rest of this will be on summary. I felt that this was important to include because recruiting is one of the most pertinent methods of human resources and human relations perspectives, because it involves new technological resources. These resources oftentimes include online methods such as social media, or for example, you may be familiar with monsterjobs.com. These all include technological skills and is a lot different than the classical approach where people used to look at a newspaper and managers would find ways on how they could have that employee work for them. One of the most important notes that I'll mention here is that with recruiting techniques, managers need to be able to express the benefits and place them on the page where the prospective employee will be able to see them. This is something that's very important. Whenever an employee is looking at the page, they want to be able to feel excited to work for the company that they're looking at. So now we enter into the conclusion part of this speech. And so we're going to do a little Q&A for 2 questions here. It says, so how do all these humanistic approaches help change organizations? And allow me to go through the list and explain these. What I wrote here is that they increase morale. So they improve this enthusiasm for working for the company. They look forward to coming to work. And this is much different than, as I mentioned earlier, on the classic perspective, which is that all of these employees work so that they can just meet management expectations. Rather, they feel that initiative as they're working through these companies. Managers understand how to reach out to employees and keep them accountable. So managers have these modern methods or these theories that they look to so that they can keep their employees accountable. And they know that it's going to work for them because they're applying methods that were thoroughly tested and based on theories which have worked really well in other organizations. This doesn't mean that one size fits all. However, what it does mean is that they're basing their methods on proven processes which could work for them. Everyone is given an equal opportunity to prove their usefulness and their contributions. So once again, these employees are are in organizations where management is working to fit their needs, and each employee is seen as an individual rather than just as one unit. And these managers are able to look at each of these employees and judge from their work ethic to see how well they're doing and how well they're proving themselves in their organization. So another common question, in fact, many managers look at their departments. They see things such as the finance department, the IT department, their marketing department, but they wonder what the usefulness is of the HR department. So the question I wrote here is, do human relations and human resources approaches are necessary to organizations? And my answer is yes, they are. If we cut out human principles of business, then we would be back in the days of mechanistic leadership. I'm sure I've driven that point very well, but we really do see this human side of business. I personally took an HR course, and I was able to learn about all the different ways that that this department reaches out to human beings, and they're able to see their potential. My last point that I put here is that we should be grateful for managers who are making sure we enjoy our workplace. And this is once again my point that these managers are making sure that we enjoy where we work and that we truly are satisfied with how we see our jobs and whether we look forward to the work that we're doing. In conclusion, I have a quote here from Margaret Mead. I wrote, as Margaret Mead once said, "Never believe a few caring people can't change the world, for indeed that's all who ever have. I sincerely believe in this quote. When it comes to human resources and human relations approaches, these methods of reaching out to employees aren't useless. People don't respond well to just hearing a set of beliefs or a set of rules that they need to follow in. What people really need is validation. They need to feel from management that they're being watched over, that their needs really matter. And I know that we can make all the difference in these people that we look over. And I look forward as I prepare for my future career, which I will most likely work in this January, that I can apply these humanistic principles and not look at them as numbers or data, but rather look at them as human beings. So I would like to share that same challenge with you, that you can reach out to people in whichever career or area of stewardship that you're in, that you can be the change in these people's lives. So I wish you the best and have a great day.